Oh, it's been too long. Super Chat is back because the CW superheroes are back. And man, we took a trip to the future. We learned the power of friendship on Supergirl. And the chase for Chase continues on Arrow. We're going to break it all down right now on Super Chat. Well, welcome back, everybody. Man, it's been like a month since Super Chat's been on. I forgot how to do everything. I forgot where all my set pieces were. Thanks to Andy, our director, for setting up our beautiful set. He did a great job. But we are back in action. A lot of big things have been happening on the CW this past week. And Arrow's on tonight. That's been a huge show this season. We have some great guests with us today, all familiar faces to Super Chat. We've got Robert Jenkins from Home of the Fluffy Cat. If you've seen the art on our set often, these cute cats as Arrow and Flash, he made those. And then we have Kay Farmer, and she's like our resident movie critic. She sees all the movies and gives us the real truth on if you should see them or not. And she's actually going to see Guardians.
Yep,
Guardians
on Monday.
too, yes. And we've got Carla Southern. I almost said Marsh. Carla Southern.
I answered to pretty much anything.
Pretty much anything. Hey, you, the hair. Comic girl.
Hey, you, green hair. Whatever.
Green hair. What's up? She's from Heroes Aren't Hard to Find, and they have a lot of big events coming up. Tell us about Free Comic Book Day coming up.
Yeah, Free Comic Book Day, Saturday, May 6th. That's not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And it's at Heroes Aren't Hard to Find.
Yes.
And this is one of the free comics you can get on that day at our store.
Wonder Woman.
It's going to be our last free comic book day at our current location, 1957 East 7th Street.
They're moving.
We moving to 3701 North Davidson.
NODA. So Heroes is moving to NODA. If you are a local Charlottean, or if you just like to travel and come see the store, get there before it closes, because this is the last free comic book day at the old location, and then they're moving to NODA. And I'm looking forward to that. So Kay, you said you are actually going to see Guardians coming up. What is the last movie you saw?
The Promise.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's about like the Armenians and their struggle with Turkey and all of that.
So
there's been some
is Christian Bale in that?
Yeah,
and then the guy from Star Wars? Yes.
Yeah, a lot of great acting and a really interesting story that a lot of people don't know about, so definitely check it out.
Yeah, is there one movie that you've seen recently that you're like, go see it?
Oh, goodness. I tell you movies not to see.
Oh, yeah. Hey, tell us one don't see. I want to hear it. Let's see.
Personally, I wasn't a huge fan of Unforgettable.
Okay.
It has Katherine Heigl in it and Rosario Dawson.
Oh, poor Katherine Heigl.
Yeah.
She's been doing a lot.
She's getting a
She's
hard
in like a cat food commercial or something.
She's
doing something like that.
She should be in cat food commercials.
Even I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
She's better in small doses.
Okay, small dose cat.
Small doses.
People used to love her. I used to get compared to her a lot, so I used to root for her, and now I'm like, don't compare me to her.
That was a mean thing for someone to say to you.
Well, I guess when she was fun and like in the 27 Dresses movie.
Oh yeah.
That's not so
she
bad,
was
I
on
guess.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
But was that her or just her character?
Yeah.
No, we don't know. And Robert, what has been going on with Fluffy?
Well, Fluffy's been, doing Fluffy stuff.
Yeah.
Being a tiny kitten. We're actually getting ready to go to Washington, D.C. this year for their big comic convention.
Oh.
I feel bad I'm going to miss out on Heroes Con, but hopefully I'll try either the mini one or try it again next year.
But you're holding it down for us, representing an awesome con, and we appreciate that. So that'll be fun. So go to homeofthefluffy.com if you'd like to see any of Robert's cute cat comics. And I love a cat. We're cat fans here at Super Chat. And we want to give a big shout out. Thanks to Lance Ospisser and the Flash Facts discussion group. And there are also a lot of other discussion groups that Lance runs. He's got Arrow, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, although that's over for this season. Lots of fun stuff. So go on there, join the discussion. And speaking of the discussion, we got to get into our question of the week, which is a very Flash-centric question because who is Savitar? None of us can figure it out. I very frustratedly made that tweet last night. Like, I don't know who it is. I have no flipping clue. And we were talking about it before the show. Nobody knows. So, okay, the poll on Twitter, it's kind of a little bit of a lead, says Ronnie. A lot of you voted, 87 votes. Most people say other or I have no idea. So it's either between Ronnie or another person. A lot of people are saying Barry.
Yeah.
Future Barry. What do you guys think?
I'm Future Barry. I feel
Barry.
I feel like there have been different things that have like kind of been said in past episodes where I think Savitar said like I am the future Flash, and the way like the way he said it was like I am the future Flash.
Yeah, there's
like,
a lot of debate over
exactly.
that.
So I feel like that could easily be saying like I am the future Flash, and I think at one point Future Barry told current Barry like don't trust Barry, and so it's like. I'm like, why aren't you trusting him? So I'm still staying adamant that it's like future Barry. Who's like
it's not the emo Barry we just saw. Which everyone's calling him emo Barry.
He looks like Chris Gaines.
Who's Chris? I don't know who Chris Gaines.
When Garth Brooks did that weird, like, alternate identity in like the late '90s.
Well, that is a real.
Yeah,
random
that went deep cut. Sorry.
I was like, I'm just waiting for him to join My Chemical Romance and we just start singing.
Oh, the hair was a bit much. I saw it when I saw it last night, and it came on. I was.
Look at those side swept
I know,
bangs.
right?
What's up with that?
I know. Well, you know, did they borrow? Somebody said they borrowed a wig from the Arrow Universe department. I don't know. They just don't have a wig budget on the CW show.
That's a bad.
Maybe that's like Ollie's season 1. They dyed it. It's so sad. I can tell though on Arrow, to be honest, I feel like they've made Stephen Amell grow his hair a little bit so that it blends in with the wig, because his hair's longer and he's got that really like cropped hair with it seems like it's very like straight.
Kind of felt like it looked like the same wig that Steele was wearing in the last episode of Legends.
Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think they're sharing wigs. I think they're sharing. So who do you think that Savitar is?
I'm actually going to lean with Future Barry too.
Okay, so you got 2 for Future Barry.
It's just the same points that she said. You know, there's a lot of leaning up. At first, I thought it was, you know, going with what everybody said, and it was Ronnie, and it's like, well, that just seems too easy. Yeah. You know, so I'm thinking it's going to be the Future Barry.
Okay, so Future Barry, Carla.
I think it's Wally.
You think it's Wally? I think Wally's a cool choice because what would have made our current Wally so, like, well, when we see Wally in the future in the wheelchair, what would have freaked him out that much? Maybe himself evil. And it does look like it's a male person when they show him getting out of the Savitar suit.
The cocoon.
Yeah, the cocoon.
His skinny little legs.
If you try to see his head, I feel like he's got a mask. I'm not sure, but he looks almost like he has dark hair or something. I tried to look. I couldn't really tell. But they have done a really good job this season of making you not know. I can't guess, and we were talking about we could guess all the other season villains, but this year I don't know, and I want to find out, and I don't know. I think it still could be Eddie. I just say that every episode.
I thought
Eddie's coming back.
I thought with the way it was ending, it was going to be like with Arrow, where they like just kind of told you who Prometheus was, and it was just like, oh, are they just going to they're just going to tell me? I'm like, what? And I was like, oh no, they're not.
I'm glad that they didn't. Keep us, we got a few more episodes until the season ends, so keep us in suspense. On Facebook, Akeju said, no doubt it's HR. So maybe it's HR. Raghu said Eddie Thawne as well got sucked into this singularity, just like Ronnie Raymond did. So he died as a hero. So he's thinking it could be Ronnie, but I liked the point of Eddie. Another person, Joel, votes HR or another. I don't want to see another version of HR. Like, let's not. That would be real lame, and I don't think anyone's that lame writing on this show.
We've had Sketchy Wells. We've had
all kinds of
Grumpy Wells. We've had Tutti Frutti.
Whatever you call this one now.
Yeah, this Wells writing romance novels in the future. Brad says it's Eddie. Brett thinks it's Rami. Raghu thinks it is Ronnie, but making him. Oh, he says he loves the character Rami, but making him Savitar is too convenient. And I do agree. I think that would be too easy. But here's a good question that I saw online. Talking about Killer Frost, and she's the one who has been, the Savitar's revealed himself or herself to. Why must Killer Frost be bad? We haven't been given that reason of why when she's full Killer Frost, she has to be evil.
Yeah.
Do you think we could see her in the future as perhaps not an evil version, but Caitlin Snow harnessing Killer Frost powers? Is there a future where that could be a chance?
Honestly, I thought the whole Killer Frost thing leading up to this point it didn't make a lot of sense why all of a sudden when she takes the necklace or whatever she was wearing at the time, she becomes evil. Like I didn't really get that. Like what was it? A part of her brain that just kind of clicked and she just automatically became bad, because the last time we saw her was, of course, I think last season. And she was from a different Earth, and of course she was bad.
Yeah.
So what makes her bad here?
She doesn't have the backstory to support being this evil.
Right.
Like, sure, like Ronnie died and then he came back as Firestorm and then he got sucked into the singularity. That, I can understand her being like maudlin.
Yes.
But that's not evil, and it wasn't anybody's fault.
Right.
You know?
And you read a lot of comic books, and most stories, is there a reason for the villain to be a villain?
And like the original Killer Frost is like, she's got reasons to be.
Yeah.
She didn't start out as a good guy.
Yeah.
She was always kind of a bad guy.
Like, why does the Frost just make her DNA evil? Yeah.
See, I always thought it was more of just like actually like the idea that she's Killer Frost, so she's cold, so her heart is cold. So it's more of just, so it's not necessarily
Metaphorical.
that she's evil per se, but it's just that like she has no feelings. And I think also, especially with Caitlin just being so, I feel like nice and just awesome, it makes sense that she would be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And we get, I mean, everyone would want to root for her for that.
The little girl with the curl. When she's good, she's very, very good. When she's bad, she's horrible.
She's horrible. Yes. And she is horrible. I mean, evil. Yeah. It's weird. I think
She froze Vibe's hands off.
yes, that's a good point. And also, I'd like to bring up that I guess they also, along with the wig budget, had a cut in the glove department budget because he's just wearing like isotoners. He's wearing like my backup gloves that I keep in the car that he can still text with to hide his robotic hands. And I was like, they could have done, with all the cool costuming they do something that makes a little bit.
And it's, he wouldn't have like cloth gloves. He would have invented some sort of like crazy animatronic.
I feel like they like forgot when it came to shooting. They're like, we got to put gloves on Cisco's character because
Poor Cisco.
I know, but he's literally just wearing plain gloves. I mean, I don't know, but the robot hand is cool.
Is very expensive.
Oh yes, yeah, that was it. And they're like, we're out. We used all the like metal parts.
He's in every episode. We got to cut corners, guys.
Yeah, you're just
Sorry, Cisco.
wearing some gloves from Target.
We bought like a 10-pack of gloves at the flea market.
You have to wear these, and it just was clearly his hands. I mean, they could have at least had him like, I don't know. But the robotic hand was cool. But they're like, we're doing this one close-up shot, and that's it.
Then we're done.
the editors are going on vacation. Cisco was very lovable in this episode, and I thought between him and Joe, they carried the weight of the episode. How did you feel about almost like this? It's just kind of like a trip through Griefland episode where he buries in the future. Did you think it was too much gratuitous sadness, or did you think it fit Iris's death?
Barry was too much gratuitous sadness.
Yeah.
But I liked Cisco and his name escapes me.
Joe,
thank you.
Yes.
I like that actually pulled on the heartstrings a little bit. You know, you could feel their sadness, and it meant more to them. Where I think Barry's was just a little too much.
Well, I think of Barry, though, and the idea that when he lost Iris, he lost everybody.
Yeah.
So it's not just the loss of Iris, it's the loss of everyone.
But he kind of chose. He chose to lose.
But I mean, just because you're sad and you choose it doesn't necessarily mean you're still going to be happy.
I'm sad, Barry.
Yes.
I'm gonna grow my emo hair.
I'm not cutting my hair.
I don't care. I'm gonna stay in here
the time vault.
in the time vault and look at
Or part it to the
a
side.
photograph.
But I think that, a couple points I want to make. One is I think Cisco barely, at the beginning of the season, he was so mad about Barry going and ruining the timeline. So you would think that this would have more, like Cisco still had that hope and that joy with him. And you would think he would be more like totally bitter about things because it seemed to be like a very thin ice for him with Barry after the whole like his brother dying situation. So I was kind of like, this doesn't really follow continuity of the character, I felt. And then the other point I wanted to make, and tell me if you agree with me this, I feel like we should lobby for, it's too late now, but there needs to have been an Iris-centric episode because I get that in the comics, she's the love of Barry's life. It's like his whole world revolves. And I get it, and a lot of people really feel that from the show, but what I want from the show is, I think they haven't built our connection to her as well as they could have.
They need to give us a reason to care about Iris.
Yes,
Period.
is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Yes, and I know that makes a lot of people mad, and it doesn't mean I don't care about Iris, and I like the two of them. I like the relationship. I think that the CW writers need to do a little bit more with developing Iris West as somebody that you're like, we can't lose her.
Please don't kill her.
If the whole entire Central
miss her.
City is in shambles after her death, why? You need to give us a why, stronger than what we're telling you that they love each other.
Right.
You know, I mean, I want to see it more.
Otherwise, Barry's gonna grow a bad haircut and pout.
Right.
For 8 years.
Yes, and I think that they haven't developed that backstory as well as the why Killer Frost is Killer Frost backstory well enough.
Right.
I feel like sometimes they're doing too much in a season, and then some of the episodes are like a kind of a waste. Like you could have done an Iris episode in a different one.
Right.
Now, question for you: why does it not affect anything in the timeline to travel to the future?
We
That
don't
is
know
a
that
good
it hasn't
question.
affected it yet, theoretically.
True, but like there's such a thing about like, look at the best and mess everything up. Because I guess when you come back to the future, that's messed up the future.
In the last episode of Legends, there were dinosaurs in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Well,
So
I
I'm a
think
little
that's great.
I'm also a little confused, like how Legends, like, is it happening in the same universe? It's supposed to.
It's supposed to be.
Because wouldn't like Central City be like, oh,
Get a
crap,
call.
there's dinosaurs in Los Angeles. Can someone send the flag?
That's where I think we get a little muddled with the
There
Arrowverse.
needs to be a little more like, oh,
But I also
yeah.
feel like because
Overlapping.
there's so many Earths, like they could easily just say, "Oh, well, they landed on Earth 53." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." So like they could like it's plausible that
True.
it could be the option, that could be the case. But I think that there'd be one. I would love it if there were just that many crossover episodes where they're like, "This changed and all this is affected here."
Yes.
But I don't feel like they'll do that.
Wouldn't it be a great twist if Savitar was just like somebody from Arrow?
That would be great.
I think that'd be the
What if it's
crossover
Superman?
event of the year. I mean, why not? I think if I was the writer, I would do
Superman and
that.
Flash were having races in the comic books, you know.
That would be if
like a
Superman ended up on
famous-
Flash.
Well, I think
famous
they spent all the budget on the hands.
Yes, and then
On
they're
those
done.
gloves.
On those gloves.
And the gloves.
Yeah, on the
And all
gloves.
the-
And the Savitar suit. But I do think they need to develop some of the characters a little bit more. If the whole world is going to go into shambles, we need to see more of Iris West. We do need to see a little bit more of Killer Frost and the timeline. I think if we've got Legends flopping all over the universe and the timeline, and then I don't think that the rules apply always. And it,
Right.
They're
making the rules up as they
yeah,
go.
yeah, and it's getting a little harried. And if you spend too much time thinking about it, you turn too blonde like me.
Don't think about it. Thinking about it can only lead to sadness.
Yes, and then you turn emo.
And
We
then
all
you grow
have to
back.
part on the side.
You lock yourself in your padded
In the
room
time
with
vault.
a TV photograph.
Yes.
and-
Well, Flash it's going. It's trucking along. So I think this episode was good. I think sometimes, like I was saying, I think that they could make their point in a little bit less time and develop other things better.
Right.
So I think this episode, I don't rate it one of the top ones. I think maybe it was a little too much time spent on things that don't matter. But we only have a few episodes left, so they better make the rest of them count. And Supergirl has been going pretty strong this season, but again, we'd like to bring up the point of what is the major conflict? And we have, I think, 4 episodes. These episodes end, these seasons end at the end of May. So we got to figure out, okay, we had a villain of the week, which was very similar to the Bumblebee Brie Larson character. What is the big villain? What do you guys think is the big villain of Supergirl this year? Is it Cadmus? Is it Queen Rhea?
I think it's going to be. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like it's going to be Lena. I feel like it's going to be something
That's
with
good.
breaking apart their friendship. Especially since the way I always feel like they kind of will foreshadow to be like, oh, everything was so happy-go-lucky, everyone was so happy, and they were so friendly.
But there's something dark inside her.
Exactly.
You can see it.
Especially with the way
She
it
is a
ended.
Luther after all.
She's a Luther.
Not by blood, but still.
Yeah.
But did you see that? Yeah, that right there. Did you get that vibe from her at all with this episode?
Honestly, not really, but like I said, with the shows that they've been doing now, you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
You're not going to know who Savitar is. You never know what's going to happen with her.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the Supergirl, of course, the Queen came out and was offering her something. That's like, oh.
I feel like Queen Rhea and Lena Luthor would make a real scary duo.
Oh, yeah.
Real scary duo. But I did have a similar thought to Kay when I was watching. There's something, that actress is very good who plays Lena, because there's something that she does where even when in her light, happy moments, you see some inner turmoil and you see it in every episode she's in. There's always that ending moment where you're like, oh, she bad. Like something, you know, like something's gonna go
She's talking
astray.
out the side of her mouth.
Yeah, it's
She's
scary.
smiling and she's, you know,
Yes.
saying dirty things about you. Like even there and that.
Yes. I mean,
Like she's sitting there watching a movie and she still looks like she's up to something.
She's well casted.
Yeah.
And speaking of casting, who loved Hoechlin? And he's from iZombie, and he played Jack, and I think it was Jack or Jake, in this episode. And I'm telling you, he was so charming, and he's so fun on iZombie. I'm not caught up on iZombie, but that show is so fun. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It's on after The Flash. But yeah, I think the biggest problem with Supergirl this season is finding direction, finding a focus, and they've been developing the what seems like it's going to be like the penultimate fight in the last post-credit scene. Like that little tiny when we saw Terry Hatcher's character come in to talk to Lena.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that they need to focus a little bit more on the whole big picture and not do things like Wynn's alien girlfriend and the Guardian. Who here likes the Guardian? No one. No one on Super Chat has ever liked the Guardian. So we need to call CW and tell them it's over. Well, I like James' character, but this subplot this week with Wynn and the girlfriend, finding out that he's Guardian, it's just not necessary. I don't like that girlfriend. I'm sorry, Wynn. You can have the girlfriend, but just after hours. Not on the job. That was unprofessional.
She also looks like a Star Trek alien.
She does look like a
From
Star Trek alien.
The Next Generation. Not like good Star Trek.
I just thought it was kind of out of left
Don't-
field that
don't hate me, people.
they bring in this crazy girlfriend.
Yeah.
Kyla likes Star Trek. Everyone, no mad emails. But I don't. What was the point? Do you think that there's going to be something more developed with this in the Guardian, or do you think it was just a weird subplot to develop?
Again, I don't think they know what to do.
Yeah, the sad part is I think that they're going to keep running with it, and then you're going to have two stories that are going to be competing with each other.
Right.
And you'll have a Supergirl story, and then you have a Guardian story, and I'm like, I don't care about the Guardian. Go back to Supergirl.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, and we did see a lot of fun development with Kara and her job. She was able to finally get her job back as a reporter, and Snapper Kara, he plays I feel like he's so well written, and the show was an authentic comic book character. There's always the grumpy journalism boss. And to just be fair, none of our bosses here are like this guy. Everybody's pretty nice at our WCCB show at CW. But this guy, he's that great character of she's able to crack him. You've got spunk. I hate spunk. Mary Tyler Moore and Lou. So he's that perfect, caricature of a character, but the actor does a really good job. So now that she's back at Catco Worldwide, will this affect things? Do you think Snapper has any idea that she's Supergirl?
I want to say no, but I feel like he's also really, really smart.
Right. Yes.
So I feel like he has to have an inkling of
Yeah.
it, or maybe he will. But
He wouldn't be a good journalist if he wasn't.
Right.
Exactly.
How does he not know? She saved him right in his face. and it's just the
Pretty
glass.
sure he knows, and he just doesn't care if she knows that he knows.
Yeah, that's true. That could be
Because
true.
he's grumpy. It's not going to help him out.
Yeah. Yeah, he is grumpy. I did like all this baking scenes and how she gave him a Danish at the end. I liked that they did a really good little detail. Supergirl did not wear an oven mitt, and I thought that was
freaked out. I was like, she what about her hands? I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense.
If I was Supergirl, I wouldn't even try to learn to bake. I would fly to France.
Well, she doesn't even need to turn the oven on, does she? Can't she just heat vision it?
Right, true.
Right.
But can she control her heat vision?
And can she lower the temperature and do it steadily?
Speaking of controlling your powers, I'm going back to the Flash for a second here. How is he always able to not only run into the future at the exact same time that he wants, but then also to start labs? What?
Good point.
You're right. My question
He
is
never
how do
takes
you
a
know
wrong
where
turn.
you're going?
Right.
How
Yes,
do you,
where
this
does
is the
he see
exact
it?
point that I want to be at, and then
How does he know? He's just hoping.
Well, he
it's
did all that
powerful.
math in the beginning where he was like, this is what I need to do, and this is the time. And so I don't know if maybe
I saw that, but I thought it was more just to get him into
Maybe
the
he's
future.
always running in place.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a really fast treadmill.
Oh, I don't
Or
know.
it's even when, do you remember in some of the first seasons, when he would
go through time and he didn't realize it. He was always kind of in the same place. So theoretically, if he does travel through time, it makes sense that he would pop up where he currently is in the future.
That's true. I just don't know how he hits it so accurately. He's not like, I'm a week off. You know, like, I would be late. I wouldn't get there the right exact time. I'm in 2042. Whoops. Backward. I don't know how he does it.
The thing is how old's he gonna end up being? Like, because I
That's
assume
another good point.
his aging is linear.
Well,
So he jumps to the future and he spends like 3 weeks there, and then he goes back to the same time where he left, but he's still 3 weeks older.
is that, see, I don't know. That's a good question too. And then no one aged. No one aged.
Nobody
Only thing
aged.
that grew was Barry's hair. But like nobody was like had
Joe
brain.
looked a little bit older. Like I remember at one point I
Slightly.
didn't know if that was like more of grief or if it was because he
Right.
actually like looked older.
Yes, I will agree with you there. And Julian's hair was different, which denotes time passing. I don't know. So I mean, I don't think anybody really. They should have maybe done a little bit more with aging, just like 7 years. Another big show, Arrow. We don't have a lot of time to get into it, but it's back on tonight, and I think, and raise your hand if you agree with me, Adrian Chase is the best CW villain this season.
Oh, definitely.
I think so. Yes, he's so creepy and great. There are so many creepy, great moments with him. And the idea that they have to still be face to face, even though they and they know each other's identities. I love it. I think they were doing a really good job with that. I like that they haven't resolved much this last episode. What I'm most excited about though, season finale, Deathstroke's back. Speaking of best villains ever, Deathstroke's back. So season finale, you gotta stay tuned for that. It's not for a little bit still, but Arrow will be on tonight at 8. And an announcement from the CW, well, it's actually not from the CW, it's just an announcement, is that the live action Teen Titans is coming to the DC streaming channel eventually. So the cool thing about that is it will be in the Arrow universe. They won't, I mean, potentially could be on the shows. They said you're not going to see them on CW. It'll just be on this DC streaming channel. But if you're a fan of the Teen Titans, the live action coming at ya. So that should be cool.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot. It's just one weekend. Yeah.
Also, though, keep in mind, Supergirl finale, Calista Flockhart's coming back, and
Right.
Superman's coming back.
Yes.
So I'm excited.
I love Calista Flockhart. I know. Do you like Tyler Hoechlin?
Yeah.
Hoechlin, whatever his name
I've loved
is.
him since Teen Wolf. I'm like, yes.
Since she goes back. Was it Arsenal and Teen Wolf too?
Yes.
Was Colton
Yeah.
Hayes?
Yeah. No.
I forget his name. But
He was in the first and second
Can we
season.
bring him back to Arrow? I loved him on Arrow. But I am excited. Deathstroke was my favorite villain. So I'm excited for Manu Bennett to come on back. Come on back. Come to Heroes Con, Manu. We'll get you a ticket. Come on by. So make sure you go to Free Comic Book Day. Heroes Aren't Hard to Find. Coming up May 6th. That's next Saturday. Not this Saturday. The following one. A lot of the artists will be there doing sketches, signing books. So you can see them all listed right there if you'd like to meet them if you're in the Charlotte region. Come on by. A lot
Even
of
if
big
you're not
names.
in the Charlotte
Yeah,
region.
fly in. Just come on in.
Come
and
on
be like,
in.
where's comic book lady? Where's the green hair lady? All right. Thanks to Robert Jenkins, Home of the Fluffy, for being here. Kay Farmer at Yachty K and Carla Southern. And we will super chat with you next week. Yay, bye.
Bye.